Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be breaking down the NHL DFS slate for Thursday, December 29th. And we got ourselves an 11-game slate here tonight, where I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and some of my favorite value plays. And of course, we'll wrap up the video talking a little prize picks. With that being said, let's dive into my spreadsheet here. And we're going to kick things off here like we always do in the top left-hand corner with those highest implied game totals, where you can see 5 of these games are coming in with an implied total of 6.5 goals, and then the other 6 games all coming in at 6 goals even. And then take a look down here at the Vegas odds, where you can see each team who's favored to win tonight. With that being said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight, starting with that second line for the St. Louis Blues. We got Thomas Center and Kyrou and Tarasenko. Great matchup for the Blues at home here tonight against the Chicago Blackhawks, who've allowed 3.73 goals per game this season, 4th most in the NHL, with the 6th worst penalty kill as well, just hitting at a 71.8% rate. And all 3 of these guys here are currently playing up on the #1 power play, so a very strong correlated line stack here. And they've been putting up some really good numbers as of late too, having combined for 15 goals, 20 assists, 35 points in their past 10 games. And then a cheaper line stack that I like here tonight is that first line for the Vancouver Canucks. Now, Horvat, $7,500, a little more expensive, but playing with Mikheyev here at $3,800 and Besser at $4,000, it makes the line stack as a whole relatively affordable. Now, we're seeing Horvat and Besser play up on the #1 power play right now, Mikheyev playing down on the second, but they are logging big minutes together here 5-on-5, and they've really only played their last 4 games together, but in those 4 games, they're putting up some really good numbers, having combined for 9 goals, 9 assists, 18 points during that stretch of 4 games. Now, folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. I'm going to have hockey content coming out for you guys all year long. Alright, now diving into some of these individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards. First guy I got there is Timo Meier of the San Jose Sharks. He's riding a 5-game goal streak right now and just playing some really good hockey over his past 10. Now, he's technically playing down on the second line right now, but still playing up on that #1 power play and logging his normal minutes. And for what it's worth, I really don't even mind that he's on the second line because he's still playing with Logan Couture. And they got a great matchup here at home tonight against the Philadelphia Flyers, who are just 1-3-0 in their past 4 games, having allowed 4.75 goals per game, the most in the NHL during that stretch, with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 70% rate. Take a look at Timo Meier's numbers here over his past 10, 8 goals, 5 assists, 13 points, while averaging around 4 shots on net per game. Now, another line stack I would have loved to highlight here tonight is that first line for the Buffalo Sabres, Tage Thompson centering Jeff Skinner here and Alex Tuch, but it's very expensive to do that. Impossible? No, not entirely, but you're going to have to spend down pretty much at every other position in order to make that work. But I still want to get a little bit of exposure to that first line, hell, even that second line if you want to get a little more contrarian. Good matchup at home here tonight against the Detroit Red Wings, who have allowed 4.5 goals per game in their past 4, second most in the NHL, with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 64.3% rate. Now, all 3 of those guys on that first line play on the #1 power play and putting up some really good numbers here as of late. Skinner himself is riding an 8-game point streak, and you can see in his past 10 games here, 9 goals, 8 assists, 17 points, while averaging close to 4 shots on net per game. I then got Carter Verhaeghe there of the Florida Panthers, and he gets a bump up here tonight because Alexander Barkov is expected to be back in the lineup. Really, the only downfall I have with Verhaeghe right now is he's playing down on the #2 power play, but still logging his normal minutes of around 18 to 20 minutes per game. And again, being that Barkov is back, he just plays much better with him in the lineup. Hell, who won? One of the best playmakers in the game. You can see Verhaeghe's number here over the past 10. 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points. Not the best numbers by any means, but he's certainly capable of having a multi-point night, especially in a matchup like this against the Montreal Canadiens. Not only are they playing on back-to-back nights after getting beat up by the Tampa Bay Lightning last night, but this is a team that's allowed 3.5 goals per game this season, the 8th most in the NHL. Now, another guy with a great matchup here tonight is Anders Lee of the New York Islanders, playing the Columbus Blue Jackets at home, who have arguably been the worst defensive team in the NHL this year. They've certainly allowed the most goals at 4.06 per game. That's actually tied for the most with the Anaheim Ducks. And Lee's been playing some good hockey here, and he actually probably has some positive regression coming his way. He's now got 13 goals, 15 assists, 28 points through 36 games, but leads this Islanders team with damn near 18 expected goals. You can just see the way he's been shooting the puck here, especially as of late. Has at least 3 shots on net here in 7 straight games. He's got 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points during that stretch as well. And then one of my favorite value plays here tonight in the 4K range is Michael Bunting of the Toronto Maple Leafs, who currently plays up on the first line with Austin Matthews and William Nylander and gets time on the number 2 power play. Great matchup on the road here tonight against the Arizona Coyotes, who've allowed 3.58 goals per game this season, 7th most in the NHL, with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 75% rate. And you can see here Bunting's been playing some good hockey as of late, getting points in 8 of his last 10 games, where he's racked up 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points, while averaging around 3 shots on net per game. Now moving over here to the defensemen, and I'd have no problem spending up for Erik Karlsson of the San Jose Sharks or Cale Makar of the Colorado Avalanche tonight either. You can see I mentioned that in the notes off to the right-hand side, but I really like the price here for Noah Dobson of the New York Islanders. Again, really love the matchup for them at home tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets. You could stack up Dobson with any one of those forwards on the number 1 power play, whether it be a Brock Nelson or Anders Lee, or get a little cheaper with someone like J.G. Pageau. Again, just really like that matchup in general. Dobson has 10 goals, 14 assists, 24 points in 36 games this year, with 9 of those points coming on the number 1 power play. I then got Justin Falk there of the St. Louis Blues, and I'm basically stacking him up with that second line that I highlighted earlier of Thomas, Kyrou, and Tarasenko, being that all 4 of those guys play up on the number 1 power play, again in a great matchup at home against the Chicago Blackhawks, who have really struggled on the penalty kill this year. And honestly, I'd roll out all 4 of those guys in the same lineup as well, especially in larger field tournaments. Falk now has 6 goals, 14 assists, 20 points in 35 games this year, and very capable of having a multi-point night. Now, if you do want to save some money at the defenseman position here tonight, I also like Colton Parayko of the St. Louis Blues. Obviously a great matchup against Chicago, and being that Torrey Krug is currently out, we're seeing Parayko play on the number 2 power play, get time on the penalty kill, and really just playing big minutes in general. In his last 2 games here, 25 and 28 minutes. He's a very well-rounded defenseman as well that can rack up DraftKings points in a number of different ways. In just his past 4 games here, he's hit 13.6, 16.8, and 21 DraftKings points in 3 of those 4 games, smashing value at this price here of $4,000. And then I got Erik Gustafsson there of the Washington Capitals, who is on a heater right now. I thought at first maybe it was a fluke when he scored that hat trick. I always know he had some offensive upside, but the way he's playing right now is unbelievable, especially considering the price here at $3,900. In his past 5 games, he's racked up 5 goals, 4 assists, and he's hit 7.8, 10.8, 16.3, 32.4, and 43.3 DraftKings points. Again, just smashing value at this price here at $3,900. We're seeing him play around 19-20 minutes per game and getting time on that number 2 power play. And then I got a couple of goaltenders there for you, a little higher priced and lower priced options, starting with Darcy Kemper of the Washington Capitals, who's been great in his first 2 games back since returning from injury, where he's allowed just 2 goals on 57 shots on net, and the Capitals are currently riding a 5-game win streak, so kind of just like the Capitals in general here tonight. But if you want to save some money, I really like the way that Phoenix Copley has played for the Los Angeles Kings. He's now 7-1-0 on the season, with the goals allowed average of 2.43 and a save percentage of .912, and the Avalanche have only averaged 2.09 goals per game ever since losing Nathan MacKinnon back on December 5th against the Philadelphia Flyers. And as always, going to wrap up this spreadsheet here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. First guy I got there is Michael Rasmussen of the Detroit Red Wings, currently playing up on the first line in number 1 power play and riding a 3-game point streak where he's racked up 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points, and has 12 shots on net during that stretch as well. And he's hit 23.9 and 37.3 DraftKings points in 2 of those 3 games. Again, someone who's just smashing value at their current price. Next, I got Alex Iafallo of the Los Angeles Kings, currently playing up on the second line in number 2 power power play. He's got 5 goals, 7 assists, 12 points through 15 games this year, and he's currently riding a 4-game point streak where he's racked up 3 goals and 2 assists. Probably a little too cheap here at $3,300 in my opinion. And then JG Pageau, kind of name dropped him earlier when I was talking about Noah Dobson. He does play down on the 3rd line, but plays up on the number 1 power play. He's got a lot of opportunity, a lot of ice time as well. Logs around 19-20 minutes per game. And someone who's got 20 plus DraftKings point upside. Again, in a great matchup at home tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets. And then to wrap up this video here, want to talk a little prize picks with you guys. Love these 8 to 12 game slates, the bigger slates give us a lot of props to choose from. Now I got 4 that are sticking out to me here initially. Panarin over 2.5, Kaprizov over 3.5, Hintz over 2.5, and Makar over 3.5. But everyone knows my plan of attack and strategy. I'm going to go through these individually, do my research, and let you know my final picks in a comment below on this video. And I'll be sure to pin that comment as well. And I'm also posting those in my Discord channel too. And if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. Now, for those of you who have not signed up for Prize Picks yet but want to get in on this action, I got a promo code that you should definitely take advantage of. When you're signing up, use my promo code GRIFF. GRIFF, and Prize Picks will give you all the way up to a $100 match deposit. Now again, you do not have to put $100 in. You want to put in 50, they'll match 50. You want to put in 20, they'll match 20. Hell, you got $5 laying around, you want to put that in, they will match that $5 and will match anything up to $100. Again, as long as you're using my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, upon signing up. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 11-game slate. In the meantime, I'm out of here.